my tits off the camera. Right, I'm going to start from the beginning. Oh, balls. Oh, there we go. Oh, balls. First time I played this in a really long time. This was one of the first games I downloaded onto my PS4, so I am going to be a bit rusty. Oh, hang on. Dragon Himalayan bar salt. Very good for the back. Other things. Compact cupboard. 30 quid on Amazon. And guess what videos I'm going to be doing soon. What we got here? Kezi peanuts. Oh, don't know what that means. Kezi in the arse. Okay, whatever that means. If it's a put down, it's a bit confusing. Well, I'm one step closer to actually switching to Twitch. Keep getting that mixed up. I think it's because I use a Switch card and my brain just... I barely carry cash anymore. Well, unless I need it for taxis, but... Damn. only 3 more left, I think. I know there's a real swanky way of doing this game, but I'm just not that sort of up to date on. Well, I haven't played this in bloody hell, must be nearly 2 years. I was hoping it'd make its way to the PS4 when I first saw it on Steam, because though I've got a Steam account, I hardly use it because it's just such a fucking pain in the arse going through all the fucking turning on the computer and make it. Every time I turn my computer on, it seems to want to do fucking updates. Yes! You can put comments in the comment section.
After the
You
assailant
want
had
to
fled,
ask any
correct?
questions.
A little after 3 a.m., yeah. Were you aware of his current mental state at the time,
I saw
Mr. West?
some of the Kumite from yesterday.
His
And
confusion,
Jesus
the blood
Christ.
dripping from his hands.
Talk about low energy.
Someone else was driving him forward, yet a bright light leading him on.
I don't even want to go into what's going on there
Just a bunch
now.
of biker trash scumbags in search of lost souls.
I think that the whole skeptic community's been running out of steam
Perhaps it
for
was when
such
they
a
realized
while
the
now
party was already
that
dead.
really
Excuse
now
me. Speaking
they're
of dead,
sort of
wasn't your daughter Katie at that party, Mr. West?
they've all turned on each other. They're all at each other's throats all the time.
Bathroom tiles. It was like a sledgehammer.
I didn't
My
think
stomach
in
is a
my
welcome
time
pit, drowning without water.
on the internet
Jesus.
I'd see such a
She was so
turn
messed up
against
that
Sargon of Akkad. Did you clean your room, Matt? Well, I'm cleaning it in sections. You know, I've done a load of washing. I've sorted out most of the kitchen, most of the bathroom. Well, I saw an absolutely shit movie last night. That's not. Yeah, I went and saw this thing. I can't even remember what it was bloody called. Oh, now I'll look on my phone. 12 strong. And it's sort of like a fictional thing about special forces going into Afghanistan days after the 9/11 attack, and it's really shit. It's just boring. I've seen so many of these modern war dramas now that it's literally like I've seen too many now. They're tedious. I've been.
And K4 is St. Paul vacant spot. And K4 is St. Paul vacant spot.
Can't remember how to do this one. I don't know who this music is. I just typed in New Wave Retro and just clicked on the first thing. It's weird, I've heard that the alt-right are mad on New Wave synth. I'd have thought they'd have been more into sort of all the sort of Germanic-y sort of classical music, but obviously not. Oh shit. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Shit, 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 shit. Oh fuck, can I outrun him? Damn! Oh dear. I wouldn't make for a very good serial killer. Well, I definitely wouldn't. I'm not very good at running because of my bad knee, and I'm short-sighted, so I'll probably hit the wrong target. Even though I did have homicidal thoughts a while ago about a bully at work. Are you still engaging in hate speech against non-white YouTubers? Even though you are white. I'm not white. Murderous thoughts too. Yeah. It was a bloke at work who was a complete shit, and I was thinking about slicing his head off. And in the workplace, yeah. Well, I'd have got him on the way home from work. I'd have sliced his head off with a katana. But when I finally worked out, you know, how I'd get away with it, the stupid arsehole went and got himself into a load of trouble by what was it? It was something. I think it was some sort of sex scandal. Have you contacted the authorities about your violent thoughts? Yeah, but the thing is, if you got violent thoughts and no way of executing them, it's not really going to affect society as a whole. It's you know, it's if you can get away with it that it becomes dangerous. Sorry, been eating pies. Yeah, I do my shop. Oh, what's this? Do your meds need adjustment? I don't take medication. Well, apart from ibuprofen for my back, but I haven't taken antipsychotic drugs or anything like that since probably 2015. Really, who has the time to be a serial killer? I can understand why people like missiles. You know, you can kill a lot of people in a short amount of time at the press of a button. You know, and not really feel any guilt about it, because that's the world we live in today. You have all the time you need, and you're motivated. Well, no, because the bloke got fired. He became too big for his boots, and supposedly he was touching up some of the newer staff who were immigrant women, thinking that they weren't going to complain, and then one of them did. And then they checked the video footage and he got caught grabbing women's bums. Contact the yard. See, in the UK it's a lot harder to kill people because we don't sell guns over here. You know, there's always the bow and arrow, but hiding a bow and arrow in public is a bit sort of bulky to sort of, you know, keep incognito. One of the problems as well is if you decapitate someone, a lot of the blood comes out and goes everywhere. So, you know, I don't drive a car, so I'd need to come up with a real intelligent plan how to get away with it. All that cock. Actually, they should all be tearing each other apart. There seems to be about 3 cocks there. 3 cocks and 3 chickens. You have thought about, haven't you? Warning others. Well, you can warn others, but you know, until there's some sort of way of killing people over the internet, most of the people I know, particularly on Twitter, are all Americans, and unless, well, like I was saying on a stream the other day, there's lots of people I'd love to get horrible vengeance on. But to get horrible vengeance on them, I'd have to be a millionaire. And if I was a millionaire, I wouldn't really give a shit about people who have been shits to me in the past, because I'd be a millionaire and I'd be up to my armpits in sexy women and sexy men all the time. You know, unless you're a complete psycho like Trump. You know, if you're very, very rich, why would you want to waste your time on the plebs getting petty revenge? Oh, I know this one. This is, oh God, what's it? Fuck. I can't remember what the band is. Hopefully you'll get help. Well, a lot of people seem to have a lot of violence in their minds. You know, every time I see people arguing on the internet and they keep saying stuff like, I want to fist fuck your face, and you know, they're constantly going on about raping people and brutalising them and all that. funny, it reminds me a lot of the olden days when I first started using YouTube. There were the Ponage videos that did a lot of that sort of shit. He ran right into the man trap. Yeah, the fake Sagan. He went completely bonkers in the end and pulled a gun on a live stream on someone. That was back in the olden days when the streams would be sort of robotic and jerky like fuck, but... So how many right-wing fascists hate non-whites, then act out their violent plans? Sounds like you, sir. Oh! I wasn't made for a very good fascist. I'm no good at staying tidy. You got to be really sort of, especially now, the Spencer crowd. You've got to be really smart and dress immaculately and things like that. And I haven't got the patience for that sort of stuff. You use their language. What, English? Because the original fascists were the Romans, and I can't speak Latin. You are, sir. What, you're turning into Yoda now?
Yahoo!
Really, if the alt-right wanted to adopt a cool green character, they shouldn't have used Pepper, they should have used Yoda. Because actually a lot of the justifications that Yoda uses are very sort of fascistic. It's what I liked about The Last Jedi, that oh, Mario kicked the shit out of me. I survived. No escape routes now. Gotta be quick. Maybe I can scare him off by dancing. Aha! Oh, I like this. Just fuck off. Do you harm people, sir? Do you act out your violent... No. Like I said, I'm short-sighted and I've got a bit of a bad knee, so I wouldn't be very good at pursuing someone. That and my social anxiety would make me stick out like a sore thumb in a crowd. That and I'm not very good at lying. It's one of the reasons why I'm not very good at sustaining long-term relationships. No good at that shit where you're telling the person what they want to hear. Good day, sir. Be peaceful instead of violent. Stop lying to yourself. Oh, thank you.
They took me off the case after what happened with Katie. But let's just say it was keeping up to speed by...
I'll definitely have to add this to my playlist.
Once the ranch massacre happened, my colleagues were more than happy to unofficially keep me informed.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit of a Clockwork Orange.
This was just the beginning, and I had Las Vegas down as one of the contenders for the next attack. Of course, the problem is that Las Vegas is one hell of a landmass to keep a watchful eye over. The kicker is that he was spotted leaving this scene on a shuttle bus. A goddamn bus. So you're saying the perpetrator was calm even after what he'd just done? I'm saying this guy was
Hey,
a fucking
just
psycho.
to correct
Please.
myself,
Try to
apparently
stay professional.
Tonka's Twitter isn't suspended.
Either way, still
He-
don't know how he evaded the entire police force descending down on him.
He
It was like the devil
himself
was on his
locked it. Oh. I know he sounded really fucking depressed on the Kumite. I didn't watch the whole show. I just looked in to see, you know, whether he was ranting and raving about stuff. And he looked bloody miserable. I sort of felt a bit sad for him, really, you know. Still, the amount of shit I hear on the internet, you know, oh, you bastards. I was told that Destiny had been flagged off of Twitch. And then I watched Twitch for about 2 hours with him on it, and nothing. He's actually done quite an interesting stream. I got to watch the whole of it with Jeff Holiday talking about Islam. Can't wake up. Oh, it's the aliens. I'm going to restart. Well, supposedly, I don't know whether it was true or not, but a lot of people said that Tonka was putting up his sort of pictures of his family and stuff on Twitter. And I was like, oh, that's a bit of a stupid thing to do, isn't it? I don't know, because he's blocked me from his Twitter for... We had an argument, fuck, when was it? I think it must have been Friday night. Well, Friday night here, so it'll be like Friday morning in America. But yeah, he was just being an arsehole, and I didn't want to know, so he blocked me. What it was about a week before. He got into an argument with me about something, and then did the classic of saying something really horrible, then blocking the person. And then he unblocked me and started berating me again, and I just blocked him. And then I unblocked him about 2 days later, and he blocked me again. So I'm like, you know, and some people who've been abusive, who are linked with the Kumite, I've just blocked them wholesale. Not interested. I'm not interested in a lot of them are lying and trying to make sort of make a big deal out of things that didn't happen just because they're sort of trying to sort of kick over the ant's nest. I actually think a lot of the people who follow Tonka aren't following him because they like him. I think they're following him because they like the drama, which I find really sad. Oh, I've got to get to the car. Hey! Didn't get as many as I was hoping, but got rid of some. Huh? What? Huh? It's amazing with a small amount of pixels how you can sort of show stuff. Damn.
It's quite a while till you wild.
Actually, now come to think of it, if he locked it down, it might be because of that girl who was trying to hand out doxes on him. You know, there was, it was on, if you go on a cunt stream that he had in the chat, not the chat, the comments, I put some comments in and this girl kept appearing and saying, oh, do you want his real docs? Do you want his real docs? And I was going, no, 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 not interested, not interested, don't want that. So maybe someone did follow it up. Don't know. Maybe that's, if you're a semi-public figure, you need to sort of think before you speak. You know, shit. Balls that one right up. I know that, you know, well, I've never considered myself an enemy, but he has, well, I'm no good at sustaining anger, I'm a liberal guy, but there are people that Tonka's been really mean to who aren't liberal guys. You know, Zeph and Ogre aren't exactly what I consider sort of lefties. You know, even what's his name? Atlas thingy-majig. You know, I've heard him on chat and he's I'd say that he's definitely sort of in the anti-camp. Ah, the head spin. The only time I've actually seen anyone physically doing the head spin was when I was in a beefer in '99. Also, the bloke did the worm. And he was so good at doing the worm, he managed to flip up to a standing position from the ground up. Well jealous. He had quite a nice arse as well. Funny in Ibiza because it was quite hot when I went there. It was a bit of a heat wave. I brought about 10 t-shirts with me for like a 7-day trip, and I used up all 10 within the first 2 days because a mate of mine he got a load of ecstasy and speed, and I'd never taken speed. I didn't understand. You only take small amounts, you know, in your finger, and small amounts. That's all you need. And he handed me the thing and went. So I was high as a kite for like nearly 4 days. I was like. Yeah, it was annoying as well because when you take speed, you can't get an erection. So I'd meet all these really sexy girls, and they were, you know, when you're at a rave type thing, girls are all over you, and sometimes you'll sit down and they'll sit down next to you and put their hand down the front of your trousers. But because I had so much speed in my system, I couldn't keep my dick up. This girl looked at me when she put her hand on my leg really close to my balls, and I was smiling and all that, and she's feeling around and nothing could happen, couldn't get it up at all, and she just looked at me like and walked off. I was like, oh, because she was quite hot. Ah, dear. I find the less I speak around women, the more chance that I'll be able to get my leg over with them, because I have a tendency to sometimes talk too much, and it just annoys them. Not all women are susceptible to stories about Doctor Who and Star Trek. There are some, but not many. Well, the ones who aren't, you know, hot. Like, you know, they look like Meg Griffin. The old mate Staggerson. We're having quite an interesting conversation earlier about how a technological society will always go towards socialism. If you replace all the people's jobs with robots, the government will have to come up with some form of socialist system. Actually, with my Twitter, because of what's happened and how many people just became really at me, not actually listening to anything I said, they just had it in their head what had happened, and they just went on from there. It's actually made my Twitter stream a little bit better. I've got loads and loads of people who frankly wouldn't say anything. You know, there's loads of people who I was following who were part of that whole clique who have never done an interesting tweet ever. It's like when I did my big purge of YouTube channels, because some of them were just so boring. The whole anti-SJW thing is completely run out of steam because SJWs don't hold any power now in society. They're the rebels now against the system, because the system is now what Sargon of Akkad wanted. I think it's part of the reason why he seems so depressed whenever I see him on streams, because he got what he wanted and he's still not happy. That can happen to the best of us. You know, like I always say, we live in an imperfect universe. Well, actually, there's an argument I remember reading that about faith, that we may actually be living in hell, where nothing works, everything's wrong, and when we die, we finally get to the real world. Because the Egyptians believe that. They believe that this life now is actually nothing but like a sort of waiting room for the real life to come in the afterlife. Probably the most weird thing that the Egyptians had as a type of... Oh, what's this? We are very, very tiny don't overthink too much. Ah. Well, that's another problem I have. I'm autistic, so I have to analyse everything. Yeah, the Egyptians, part of their prayer system is a thing called divine masturbation. And when they were in, oh, what's he doing? Oh, he's beating me up. I'm too sexy. I know it. Just unlocked a trophy.
What's that? What?
Huh? Dude, let's party. Ice pick to the head. Yeah, when they were rooting around Tutankhamun, they found all of these things that look, these sort of sticks, and they believed for years that they were held up as worship. They'd hold them up to the gods. And it wasn't, it was actually dildos. they were carved out of ivory, they're actually ivory dildos. And they'd wank whilst praying. And when they had an orgasm, they believed that it was the gods communicating with them. Which has a sort of logic to it, but, you know, it's just a bit funny to think that people had mixed sexuality with faith, because most of our modern faiths actually are more of a rejection of sexuality, particularly Catholicism. She's dancing in a pool with high heels on. Oh, that makes sense. I wonder if there's any Giorgio Moroder. Let's have a look. I'll save that. Add to favourites. So this is why I don't monetize any of my videos. How did you do the stream setup? It's pretty good. What? I don't know, I just click on stream on it's a PlayStation 4, it's all built in. I wouldn't know where to start using XSplit connected to a PS4. Even though I have got XSplit on my laptop, I've got to sit down and work it out at some point. before I became like a hate figure, I was planning on doing a whole series called Alphabeti Interneti, where I'd sort of just sit down with XSplit and project lots of stuff I found on YouTube that I like. Lots of slapstick humour and adverts from like the 80s and 70s that I remember when I was a kid. Ah, baka. Not heard this before. Says Giorgio Moroder mix, and I'm a massive Moroder fan. I very rarely listen to modern music though. I'm more of a fan of electronic and progressive rock. I'll have to add this to my favourites. Quite a good track.
Yahoo! Woohoo! Yeehaw! Woohoo! Yeehaw! Woohoo! Yahoo! Yahoo! Yeehaw! Yeehaw! Yahoo!
Ever heard of the Levelers? The band or the group in the English Civil War?
Yahoo!
Ah, he hit me with a guitar. Yeah, the Levelers in the English Civil War, the actual first socialists. They wanted to level society. I've heard of the band The Levelers because I had a girlfriend years ago who was into them. That and James. Quite like Kasabian, but I haven't heard any of their stuff in years. I used to listen to a lot of music when I was at work, but since I've got unlimited on my phone now, I can be on the internet all the time. I end up watching loads and loads of YouTube videos or listening to SoundCloud. I wish a lot more people would use SoundCloud because I find it's actually better than YouTube because a lot of people do these streams and there's nothing going on the screen, it's just a stream with loads of people talking and it's really boring. If you put that onto SoundCloud, people can go and do something else. They can use their computer to be sort of playing a game or something and listening to it in the background. I don't need to see Andy Warski's ugly mug every 5 minutes. I know what he looks like. And it's not pleasant. If anyone wants to take the mickey out of Andy Warski, the thing that really him is if you point out his stuttering. That's why sometimes he'll be doing a stream and then there's the 2-second pause with his mouth open like it's because he's about to stutter, but he can't, he's trying to hold it back. Oh, I like this one. Oh, I got caught again. This is The Chase. This is included in the film Midnight Express. I like Giorgio Moroder because he doesn't just do pop music. He works with a lot of other musicians, and he does a lot of soundtracks. And he's got a very unique sound. And some of the soundtracks he's done are really good. Like one of my favourites is the soundtrack to Top Gun. I don't know a lot about this new SmackDown game. I wish that they'd had the same thing they had in 2K14, I think it was, where you could port music from your... Well, I had it on my Xbox 360, but you could port music that you'd saved on the hard drive to the entrances, so you could have any piece of music you want as your entrance. Because I always like Iron Maiden songs for my wrestling entrances, but they threw a lot of that out when it went from THQ to 2K. Still, I do like the body mapping system though. That was a massive improvement over the previous games. Because I've had every variant of SmackDown all the way from back when it was on the PS1. My favourite of the series though was Here Comes the Pain, because it had such a good hardcore wrestling thing where you could go all over the building. Ah, you bugger. Oh, escape there. Oh, great, he hit me and the criminals got away. 74 is the new 24. That's quite an interesting video. I'll have to say this. I like electronic music and disco and prog rock mainly because one of the weird things about my autism is I actually see music, and the more music in the song, the more memorable it is to me, because the problem is I can't visualise spoken song, which sounds really weird. I am a bit of a weird dude anyway. I had to explain this to a girl before, where she said, you seem so happy in public, and I'm like, it's actually an act. I've had to learn over the years to act happy, because I'm not very happy in public. I get social anxiety in public, but my trick is to smile through it. It's weird, I didn't actually develop sort of social anxiety till I was in my early 30s. But I went to a party from work, and all of a sudden I was in a room with a load of people, and my heart started racing, and I felt really uncomfortable. Oh, I love this song. I had this on album, on vinyls, years ago. There were these series of records called Now That's What I Call Music, and it was, I think it was 1986, and I played this song loads and loads of times. I only knew you for a while. Never saw your smile. Time to go away. Go away. To recognize comes as a surprise. It's just too late to stay. Too late to stay. Always be together, however far it is. Always be together, together in Green. Tell me to be brave. A better prime. Away. Every day. I just I close my eyes. Let's be together. Never find thing. Let's be together. Every electric dream. Together. Never find thing. Let's be together. Together in electric dream. The band's beating the shit out of me. Together in electric green. Together. Yahoo! Yahoo!
Hell, you see, you're only one camera. What I want, did I? It's what I want, and it's what.
Yeah, see the half one.
Baby. Funny with the SmackDown games, the years and years ago, people would put in magazines because you had wrestlers that weren't in the WWF. Give you some idea of how long ago it was. and they put codes in for the way to create them. People like Hulk Hogan and stuff like that. And you can be sat there for hours trying to do these things. And then I all of a sudden thought, well, why bother doing copies of actual wrestlers? Why don't I just make up wrestlers? But nowadays, because you've got the downloading thing and shared creations thing, it's better because you do find people who are so anal that they'll put in every little detail, every mole, every scar, everything. Yeah, it's something to be admired, actually. It's like when I used to be in the Sims 2 community, and people they'd make things that were amazing, and you could download them and put them on the Sims 2. So I had a town with like the Disney castle and the prison from Prison Break in the same town. But yeah, it's always impressed me, that whole modding thing. I just wish the modding community was I wish there was more of a way to mod more games, particularly on consoles, because it seems to be something that's limited mainly to PCs. I'm amazed at how long sometimes mods must take these people to make, because one of my favourite games on the PC was Star Trek Legacy, and there was a bloke who'd made a mod that included practically every class of starship that's ever appeared in Star Trek that's Federation, and he made up some that were like just made up from pieces, and it did have a tendency to crash my computer sometimes if the battle was too big and there was too much stuff moving about on the screen. But was very impressive that someone would spare all that time in their life to modding and mapping and getting all the colours right and all of the polygons put together. And some of the tricks the fella developed, there's this brilliant mod that's called Star Map, where he used actual photographs made by Hubble as the galactic backgrounds for the different battle areas. So if you saw the Horsehead Nebula, it was actually the Horsehead Nebula. Bit of aha. This is voted the most popular music video ever. Take on Me. Used a trick actually that they used to use a lot in Disney back in the 1930s called roller scoping, where you basically you make a film and you make a film print that can be projected in black and white onto a surface of paper. Then the artist makes prints by pencil of the actual movement. It's a very slow process, but when it's speeded up, it looks fantastic. One of my favourite animators, Ralph Bakshi, used a lot of roller scoping, particularly in his version of Lord of the Rings. I actually like it because it makes the movement of characters more realistic. It's actually, I'd say roller scoping's better than CGI. Because CGI, there's always that uncanny valley thing where it doesn't quite look like a human being. Things that you say to remember, shine away. Are we coming for you, really? Take on me, take on me, babe. I'll be I'll be good. I don't like this one. Aha! It's not actually my favourite song from Top Gun. My favourite song's Take My Breath Away, which was a big hit in the UK. This song has become quite a big joke because of Archer, the cartoon series. He goes, danger zone.
Yes, sir.
Ah! There. Well, I think I'm going to end the stream here now because I'm getting a bit frustrated and I want to upload this thing. So right, let's broadcast. See you later.